Perfect.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what time of day you're watching this. And welcome back to the 3-Star Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Myles, joined with...
Hey guys, I'm full of smiles today. It's Shaun, and as always, we have Rich. Rich, how are you?
I'm here, I think. I think I'm still here, just about.
We're surviving. Guys, what an interesting time it's been since our last podcast. Obviously, a lot's going on in the world, and there's a lot of discussion points there, but we have a little bit of an update for all you 3-Star podcast lovers. We've had to do a bit of rescheduling for this episode to go live because we had an injury amongst us. Man down, call for help. The world did nearly end. Myles, you've been uncontactable for a short amount of time and away from work as well with an injury. So I've got a rough outline, but definitely for all of our viewers, listeners, and the millions upon millions of fans out there, what's been going on, my friend?
In short, I nearly died.
You nearly died. Okay, so you've started off. You've started off strong there. Now this story better be worth it. Okay, so I want to hear what actually happened. What's gone on?
I nearly died. I was by myself. There was no one around to help me. I saw my life flash before my eyes. It was a horrific experience. What happened is I was enjoying a nice leisurely bike ride along the local canals of Riley Hill, as you do. Fantastic area, guys. Check it out. The flats.
Definitely.
I was coming down this bridge, and you know, like how you have block paving. Well, some of the
Yep.
blocks were missing, which I am used to because I ride this route all the time. So as I'm coming downhill, I've tried to avoid these bricks, and my bike has wobbled. Now, as it's wobbled slightly, for some strange reason, as I've gone to brake, which I used to do with my left hand for my back brakes, I've accidentally hit my front brake as well. Everyone watching this that rides bikes is like, you never use your front brake.
No.
But yeah,
But when you
it wasn't
panic,
planned.
you do.
It was a panic, and I was just trying to slow down the wobble. I hit my front brake. The steering wheel went one way. The bike came up. Everyone that's familiar with Soldier Boy, tell him, I hit the Superman and went, straight over the handlebars, hit the ground. And the annoying thing is, imagine a normal canal path. To the left of me, I had some soft-looking bushes. To the right of me, there was grass. And further to the right of that was the canal. So I had three options of where I would hit, and I just went straight over, hit the concrete. And then as soon as I hit the ground, I looked up. I looked in one direction, didn't see a soul. Looked in another direction, didn't see a soul. Realized I was by myself, so I just lay on the ground for a bit because it hurt. Like it really hurt.
So as I think we've all seen YouTube videos and that of ultimate fails, and you sit there and laugh for a while and stuff. But actually, when it happens to someone that you know and care about, dare I say, it isn't actually as funny. But
Sean,
really lucky you didn't end up in the water.
If there was footage, I would be playing an exclusive clip here right now just to make everyone's 2020 that bit better, because I imagine it was an actually hilarious fail. But looking back at it now, I imagine there was only two major things that came from it. One, I had a fractured elbow. I've got a fractured elbow. It's only a minor fracture, which is why I haven't got a cast. The sling's in there because the doctor said I should. When I'm not moving around, I should take it out the sling.
Yeah.
Try and do certain exercises. I've had to buy. I'm always battered on here. I've always got the dodgy wrist, which is this.
Yeah.
So I've had to buy one for my elbow. So now, as you can see, I do have more movement. I can I can't twist more than that at the minute. So this hand goes flat. This hand I can't twist.
With all that support that you've got on though, the good news is you are looking more and more like a Z-list wrestler by the minute. You know, like the outfit is coming together nicely. The elbow support, the wrist support and stuff. But dude, like, are you okay now? Are you feeling okay? Can we start to make light of this situation? Because at the time I was quite concerned, wasn't I? So
Shaun has actually been checking up on me. In terms of concern, Shaun, one of my friends, when I spoke to them, spent the first 5 minutes of our phone call laughing. They didn't say a word.
Of course.
They were just.
That's what I want to do right
laughing.
now, but I'm trying to come across considerate.
But no, I survived death.
Miles,
Hello.
are you going to end up with a Winter Soldier kind of robot arm?
I did ask. So here's the thing. So I went. This happened on a Saturday. Went to A&E. A&E.
Yeah.
So because it was fresh, I couldn't actually move. All I could do was move my shoulder. Anything that involved elbow movement. So originally, I thought it was my wrist because when I came off the bike, I couldn't twist my wrist, and my wrist and everything was swollen, and I couldn't make a fist. I went A&E. I had some X-rays done. They told me my wrist is perfectly fine. It's my elbow, which is the elbow bone you use for twisting. So that wasn't working. So I was like, yeah. I was like,
Your radius. Your radius, if GCSE biology serves me right. Yeah.
So I had a fracture. It was, but so when I had the X-ray, because I couldn't turn my elbow fully, you could only see a certain part of the bone. And the doctor went, it looks like a break or a fracture. This is where the story gets interesting. He said to me,
good, because it better get interesting soon.
We're losing viewers. We're losing viewers, guys.
He said we need to get you a second opinion, so you'll get a virtual call from the doctor. And I said, what do you mean a virtual call? He was like, on Tuesday, someone will ring you. So I was like, so I'm not going to come back in and someone's not going to like physically look and feel and try and something. He's like, no, you'll have a phone call. So because of the current global pandemic, what they're doing on there to keep the hospitals a little free is they're doing these virtual calls.
Okay.
I thought 5G is a thing. Maybe they've got some amazing whiz technology, like they'll video call me and scan my elbow through some sort of. No, it was an 01384 number. They gave me a call. The nurse said, spoke to the doctor. He said, you've got a fractured bone. We'll send you some leaflets in the post.
Well, you nearly died, man. That's not good enough.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I nearly died, and all they could do was give me a phone call and say, this is this, keep your sling, you don't need the cast, we'll send you some leaflets, hopefully we don't see you again.
Well, first of all, what I'd say is, and I think I speak on behalf of me and Rich and all of the guys that you know within the industry and stuff, we're glad that you're okay, man, because that, in all seriousness, it was a bit of a bad trip and stuff. So I'm glad you're okay. But having said that, viewers, if you can find what you believe is footage of Myles falling off his bike or any other related memes or videos, please add those into the comments below because they'll give us a little bit of a giggle. However, it does bring us on to something, I guess it always comes back to tech, right? Which is, that's really interesting that you had that virtual phone call and, the consultancy around that, because with the birth of 5G, which we say the birth, but here at Samsung, we've been part of that story now for
the evolution.
Quite a while, right? So, yeah, 5G is not new to us, even though it's still new to the masses of the world, which is great to be in the Samsung stance. But so what would you envision if there's something of this nature that happens in the very near future? How would 5G be able to really escalate or serve as a catalyst to kind of improve in that sort of situation? So Myles isn't best placed in a hospital today or when it happened because of the pandemic that's ongoing. At the same time, we've got these capabilities enhanced by 5G and people like Samsung pushing that forward. So what does that really, what do you two think that opens up the doors of? Like how would 5G enhance in this sort of situation? Because it's a real life situation, isn't it, Rich? Do you know what I mean?
It is. You know what? We've got so much stuff built into our devices. So we've got things like heart rate scanners. We've got fall detection on our wearables and stuff. So what 5G will bring to it will be...
What's that fall detection? What's that, Rich? What do you mean by that?
Literally, right? If you do a Superman like Myles did, to be fair, in my head that he was either on a unicycle, like a clown's unicycle, or he was on his little sister's bike, which is a little pink one with a basket on the front.
Oh, I thought it was a penny farthing.
A penny. It could be. That's it with a top hat and a little monocle.
Yeah.
What is cool about fall detection is literally that it measures the G's. So like if you go around the corner in a car and you feel that force, that's G's, right? So it's G force.
Right.
Depending on which wearable you've got and depending on where you are and what you're doing, if you take a fall, it can do a number of things. So potentially it could just check that you're okay, say, are you alive, or unconscious. It could also then send out a message to a loved one, a trusted contact. So, they could get in touch.
For the elderly, right?
Perfect for the elderly, but also, as Myles has proven, also good for, 18-year-olds. So The thing about 5G is it will be a stronger, more reliable signal. So it can get the data to and from you just so much quicker. So if you're on a canal where, it helps. It helps. Yeah. 5G
and it's
is
fall detection on any of our devices at the moment.
It is, and it's coming to more in updates on the future. So things like the Watch Active 2 and stuff.
So basically, anyone listening to this who has that conversation with consumers around wearables, sometimes it's the icing on the cake, right? But it's something that gets missed off very easily. But look at how crucial that would be right now. And we were discussing a real life situation. But yeah, I interrupted you, mate. I apologise, as I often do. But you was talking about the 5G, what it might mean in the future. Where do you see it going?
Well, my personal, what I imagine is in the future you'll have a men's sympathy app which will work via 5G. So Myles would fall off his bike, lie there, and it would activate this app, and it would go, "Oh, my poor baby, how are you? Do you want a beer?" And it would offer, which is what men want, right? Let's just face it. That's what we want. In real terms, what I imagine is, say you're a lone worker, you could have a panic button. Say you have a trip, a fall, you fall into water, it detects as water. It would automatically, say you've got a 4G or in the future maybe 5G wearables, it would automatically alert your doctor, alert your person of contact. It would alert your boss, all that sort of stuff, and get you. Because sometimes like Myles said, he fell over, right, in a dramatic way. And actually, he had to just lie there quietly. He wasn't. The first thing on his mind wasn't, "How do I call an ambulance?" or "How do I get assistance?" And if there's no one around, there's no point shouting. Plus, he was probably crying. I imagine he was blubbing quite a lot. But let's put that to one side. He could automatically have his wearable send the signal out to somebody, so his missus or whoever would get that alert. So imagine how many lives it could save. I'm not being dramatic. It literally could save lives.
I mean, we're lucky here that Myles is a strapping young man that, and he kind of recovers at a rate of knots. But again, it's easy when we talk 5G, and at the moment, you don't have to search too far for some conspiracy theorist that's kind of doing their best to talk 5G down. But when we look at the real life, actual, factual applications and improvements that it will make to the masses, you don't have to go too far to find one that you don't just enjoy leisurely, but is actually needed and will become part of our, intertwined into how we live, that actually really helps us out, such as you're saving lives there. And I've heard that the utopia kind of vision would be that top surgeons could actually operate on people that are far afield from where they are, because the equipment will be sorted, and no doubt Samsung will play a massive role in kind of the production of these sort of things, as Samsung always do. But then those surgeons will be able to operate on people from far away using the technology and using the 5G kind of networks and capabilities, which I think sometimes it's easy to talk about 5G as like fun or what might be doing. We're all having a hard time kind of envisioning something that is brand new, but now we're looking at practical applications of 5G. And Myles, I'm glad that you've fully recovered, or on the mend at least. Anyway,
I'm nearly there.
Very glad to have you back, my man. And it is interesting. But I saw something the other day, and I will mention while we're talking about 5G, that just absolutely wowed me. And I was watching a YouTube channel that I watch. It's kind of basically based around the sneaker culture, or trainers or sneakers in America. And this. Basically, there's a very popular store in LA that sells all these trainers, yada, yada, yada. But one of the guys that he was following was on his lunch break. And he actually ordered food. And this is 100% true. He ordered food on an app, just like we do. Just Eat and Uber Eats and Deliveroo. They're all fantastic. We all know and love them. But the one step further that they've gone was his food got delivered in a cart. His phone told him that the food was outside the premises. He went outside and scanned a cart, no human interaction, and it popped out the bag with his order in it, and then it just went on its way. This cart did. And that is, I'm presuming it's such a trial stage. This is LA, which you would think get a lot of the kind of the first wave of this sort of thing. Would be no surprise there. But food being delivered that was not only contactless, but like, is humanless a word? It is
What,
now.
is it putting people out of jobs? Is it, what about the delivery drivers?
enough.
What about all
Well,
those?
you know,
I get a
there's-
message saying, Miguel is riding his bike over the park and he's delivering my pizza in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a shame. It's progress, but I hope it doesn't put people out of
No,
jobs.
well, someone's got to make and maintain the cart. Someone's got to run the infrastructure and the network and stuff. So we'll evolve as we always do. But how do you feel about that? Having your food delivered very efficiently, but without any human interaction.
It's not new, because I'm sure in America, I don't know if it's LA, but I know in America they were trialing, and I'm sure it's Amazon, I might be wrong, Amazon grocery stores, where it was literally a grocery store with no humans in there. So you'd walk in there and I don't know how it would work, but you would collect your food, take it to a cash, pay for it, and then just leave, and there'd be zero human interaction apart from the people that were around you.
I read the same thing. It was basically there's no cashier. So I think it was that you pick up what you want, but it was all tagged in a way that you can, when you leave, it will automatically charge. So I think they were even claiming that like theft wasn't going to be a problem either, because everything that leaves is going to be associated to someone. Or I don't know. I know that we obviously have Samsung Pay as well, which is our one-stop shop to kind of use those interactions. I remember when we used to have that foldable, flexible kind of plastic that we could trade for services and goods known as money, or cash. But now, you get Samsung Pay on your phone, even on your wearable. You can take. I've been to vending machines and used Samsung Pay from my watch. Where you can use contactless payments.
Yeah.
So we're in a really good place with that as well. But going on from that, Myles, was it you that mentioned to me about Android drone delivery before? Was it the conversation I had with you?
Yes. So again, like you're saying, so you've got, I think what they're trying to do is a lot of this technology, it depends how you look at it, it's either making us lazy or it's being smarter so we don't waste time doing things we don't need to. So you can imagine going food shopping. To some people, they like getting out of the house. To other people, food's a necessity, but the queuing and the walking around and bumping into people and having to carry the bags to the car, that's a long process. So there are I know in America they've got Amazon drone deliveries. So if you order a parcel from Amazon, the drone will just come and drop it off to wherever you said to drop it off to, then it flies over back to its factory over there. So Amazon's doing that in America. You've also got Uber. Uber have got Uber helicopters, or they're working on Uber helicopter service, which that's manned. I believe that is human, but they've also got Uber. They've also got Uber driverless cars. So you can order an Uber, you'll get picked up in an Uber, but there'll be no one sat in there. It'll literally just be the machine, and that'll take you from A to B.
To all the listeners, can you do some background research on that and throw us a link in the comments below, please? Or get in touch with us on the Samsung Backstage Instagram account and tag us in some footage proving that, because that's a bold claim there, Myles, a very bold claim. And I don't want to call you a liar. But is that true?
Yeah.
Jeepers creepers. There's
a lot that they're doing to drive down human interaction, and I think with the current global pandemic, once we come out, I don't know if we will. I don't know. I'm not going to get into any conspiracy theories. I don't know whether we will come out of this, but when we are back to the new norm, you'll probably see a lot of businesses taking this route to think, you know what, this might help, and we might not need to
5G
have all of this when we've got the ability to get things like this done. And again, a lot of this can all be done via 5G.
Well, I'd like to ask what your standpoint is on the kind of how useful you'll think 5G will be. But first of all, is none of you going to recognise the fact that I've had my hair cut?
It's just a terrible haircut, so we didn't want to really say anything about it, mate. We agreed. Me and Myles had a chat before, and we said we don't want to mention it. Elephant in the room.
Wrong audience to be asking for compliments, right?
There's three things here, Shaun. One, you've got your headphones on. Two, that background, I just keep staring at the faces behind you. I don't think I've looked at you once. And number three, some of us have to wear bandanas to hide their hairlines, so they're not going to talk about anyone else's trim when they haven't.
Well, this is why it wasn't a vain approach. It was more that 5G enhancing our lifestyles, right? So you get to choose whether you like the fact that there's no humans serving you your food and it's robotic. But I dare say that hungover Sunday morning, maybe you'll order it no matter what your standpoint is, or this and that. But the time when you would really have to make a decision as to how much you rely on it is, imagine if there were 5G barbers, and you had to sit in a chair and trust a machine with a knife close to your throat. How would you feel about that?
If it was something like Robocop mixed with Edward Scissorhands, I'd want nothing to do with it. But
My issue with
dead or alive, you're coming with me. You know, I'd buy that. I'd buy that for $1.
My issue with the robot barber is everyone has a different facial structure. So unless this thing is going to like do a 3D render of your face, so then it can, but it's, and then again, hair type. Does it know how to cut different hair types? You can see, Sean, I'm going to get into this. It knows how to cut different hair types. Does it know what a level 1 or level 2 is? Does it know how to do a lineup? I don't mean a standard shape up. Different people have different hairlines. I don't want to come to you with my delicate hairline and have it pushed back up to here because your robot malfunctioned. No, it's just not worth it.
Guys, what do you think? Would you allow a robot to cut your hair? Mainly, I would say out for the gents who are worrying about the lineups, the shape ups, and the bits in between. But ladies, how would you feel about your precious hair to all the glorious lengths, and then saying, yeah, I want to kind of have a few, I don't know, like layers and some. I want to go ombre. Would you trust a robot to with your hair? That's an interesting fact, but I dare say that 5G will take us there one day, and when that happens, we'll be replaying this podcast to the masses.
Sean, can I throw something at you? Can I just throw something really quick?
Definitely. As long as it's not your fist.
No, and it's not a razor near your throat. You're okay, but this is where I believe you will come from in terms of hairdressing, and Myles might be the same. It's the same as, dare I say, some hospitality has reopened recently, and pubs and stuff. And people go, people, they drink too much, they're obsessed with drinking. It's not about that. It's about the social side of things. So when you go for your haircut, I don't think you go to intentionally pay good money to have whatever that thing is on your head. You go because I can talk. You go because the social side of things. A lot of people go to barbers because they like their barber. They have that social interaction. Same as when you go down the pub, even if you go and you're not drinking, you have the social interaction. If you go to the supermarket, if I go to the small independents, I go because, I like to, speak to somebody who works there while I'm, grabbing plums. It's about the social side of things.
Yeah. And, but that's what's important is we can think of technology as kind of taking us away from, that's going to mean that I don't interact with humans as much, and go along that route. But what we often forget is exactly what we are doing right now here at the Freestyle Podcast, and what a lot of people around the globe have done for the last 15 or so weeks, which is come together using technology as well. So it's a really key one, because it's very easy to get on the bandwagon of, technology is, like you said there, Rich, and rightly so, of kind of taking the jobs or moving away from human interaction.
It's a balance.
Then again, what you've just said there as well is the balance, because during lockdown, when I couldn't, and of course I'd rather give my mum a hug and stuff, and be with her personally, but I was still able to kind of communicate with her. My younger nephews, 15 weeks in a youngster's world is months, right? Or if not years, but I was able to have that interaction. So it's really important to remember how tech and these 5Gs are going to bring us together in real time and enhance our lives a little bit more, I feel. And that's a key story for consumers, because a lot of people are unsure about 5G still, and it's easy to read some kind of, propaganda that's put out there by a Facebook Karen that's kind of got an opinion because she's watched a bit of GMTV. But actually, 5G is already showing us that it can bring us together. Technology is enhancing our lifestyle. So 2 good points there, Rich. And I like the way that you played both out to us, really, and valid points, I think.
Everything Samsung seems to be doing is it's focused on bringing people together and making the stuff we want to do digitally easier. Then we've got more time to do the human side of things a little bit easier. So absolutely.
Can we talk about what we're launching very soon? i.e.
I'm getting scared now.
The Samsung Robocops. It's out, guys. Samsung are developing our own Robocops. So here we go. Sean, I'm hoping you can get involved in this. I really do hope that you can get involved. But I'm not going to doubt you, Sean, because there's both old and new where I'm going with this. So, Rich and Sean, if you could choose one franchise to implement their law enforcement into the real world, would you go for A, Robocop, or B, Judge Dredd, or the judges, should I say?
Do I go first just because Rich will actually be able to carry this conversation?
You've got to know who both of these characters are. Surely
so,
you know.
Judge Dredd, I know Sylvester Stallone played it. I haven't seen the movie. Okay, guys, stop bullying me online, right?
Carl Urban.
However, Robocop, I loved that movie so much when I was younger. I'm talking the original Robocop. They made a remake. Please don't put that rubbish in front of my face. I'm talking about takes it off. Murphy takes off the helmet. You know, I'll buy that for $1. The drone at the beginning of the movie that was in the office. The best scene in cinematic history, right? Because they presented a Robocop variant, like one of the first variants, in a skyscraper in the middle of America somewhere. They showed it off and they all loved it. Then he killed a guy and he flew through the building. But the execs there was no panic. Very quickly, within 10 seconds, the execs were like, clean up this mess and, hey, are you ready for the 5 o'clock meeting? And it was like, the fact that the guy had been gunned down by a robot was neither here nor there. I can't remember what his stance on the law was. Robocop's stance. I don't know what his rule set was, but I was very much dead or alive. You're coming with me, creep. You know.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. They were the three main laws.
Jeepers, Rich. You know that
I love that film.
Off by heart.
And the robot was called Ed 209. Yeah.
What were they? What were they again?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. Those are 3 you can remember, unlike 3 rules that we've been told over the last few months that are impossible to remember. Just saying.
Okay, so, Rich, do you want to? I think we've got about 6 minutes left. Do you two want to hash this out as to which rule set is superior? I'll be a neutral judge because I'm unbiased.
I'm going to ask Myles a question then. Myles, you said it's going to either be Judge Dredd or it's going to be Robocop. Can we add in the Terminator as well? Or is that,
no, you
not
said
really
that.
law enforcement?
I was also thinking, have you seen Chappie? Have you guys seen Chappie? Yeah. I was thinking of that Robo Task Force as well.
Oh,
the way Sean is looking.
Come on. It's a given now. It's a given, isn't it?
Chappie had Deanthorpe in it.
Yeah, there's robots, there's South Africans, there's gangs, there's police versus gangs versus robots.
Pop stars acting.
What?
Oh yeah, pop stars acting. The thing is though, Rich, I never knew they were pop stars, so it was just...
Yeah, you're on about Guy Artwood.
Deanthorpe.
Yeah, Artwood. Yeah. I listened to their music quite a while before they starred in that movie.
Yeah.
A bit of alternative kind of hip hop, dare I say. They try and, it's a bit strange. Yeah, I've heard of them. But yeah, we digress. If you guys want to round that up,
Robocop.
Which law is superior?
Robocop. I absolutely love Judge Dredd, not the Stallone version, but I love the new version. But in terms of somebody...
Good.
Oh, it was such a good film, and there's got to be a follow-up. There's just got to be.
Sean, if out of the 4 films, watch the new Dredd. You will not be
New Dredd is amazing.
The new Dredd.
Is that what it's called? New Dredd? Is that what it's called? New Dredd?
Just Dredd, yeah.
Dredd.
It's such a simple premise. It's such a small kind of concept that just works so well with Mamo and whatever her name is and all that. Yeah, but no, I'd go Robocop, and I'd go Robocop 1, not 2 or 3, or the TV series. As long as he can't be hacked.
When us three finally developed that reggae band that we have been on about for some time, can we please call it New Dredd? Because I like.
We're not going UB50. Okay.
yeah.
For me,
UB5G. There you go.
For me, Rich, I think I would have to go. I think I'm going to have to join you in Robocop. And my reason being is, although the Dreads are all human, one, they can be corrupted, as you find out later on.
Yes. Yeah.
Spoilers. Sorry, Sean. And they are just brutal. Chappie, they're two machines, so like it's just there's no reasoning with them. Terminator, the exact same reason. He's a machine. And Robocop, I feel like if Robocop would turn the corner and saw a little girl, any other robot would shoot, but Robocop may have his human side does fight back every now and again, only when it's personal, but there's a chance that he's going to cause less friction, should we say, on the streets.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Can we throw Cyborg in from the DC universe as well?
Do you want to? Do we want to involve anything that's DC?
Not only because the actual character has got the potential to be like Robocop. He's human as well as robot. He's got a conscience. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And before I get attacked, Sean, hold on, Sean. Sorry, before I get attacked by any DC fans, I just want to say, I'm only talking about the DCEU, the movies, the DC movies, excluding the Dark Knight trilogy, because DC comic books are probably better than the Marvel comic books, and the DC and Batman games. Yeah. The games are great.
Yeah.
The movies. The movies. I don't know what happens.
Well, let's throw it out to those guys then, because I know there's some of our usual suspects and our backstage live family who are always interacting with us. Tell us what you think and clear this discussion up for us, and give us your reasons why as well. Which futuristic and robotic law enforcement system seems the best? And would they ever come out with be alert, stay alive, and always be away from each other? I don't know, but but the word is definitely out there, and let us know what your thoughts are. And along with that, guys, don't forget, tag us in any of those videos or related footage you may have of Myles. Remind you of Myles having his unfortunate accident. Myles, I know that I speak on behalf of everyone, saying wishing you a continued recovery, my man, because it was a bit upsetting to think that, like, genuinely you were quite hurt there. And 5G as well, it's here, and we're really pushing forward with it and think of all the benefits. But what do you think hasn't been invented yet and could help us with 5G, guys? So a lot for you to get in touch with us there. Continue on your usual forms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the podcast for us, and also let us know more. But Myles, I'll give the final messages over to you, my man.
The final message is 5G should bring human Pokemon centers, but we haven't got time to discuss this. So get me in the comments and I will explain to you just how a human Pokemon center would work instead of these stupid virtual calls. But yes, we have been the 3-Star Podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I don't even know. Stay safe, stay home, stay 2 meters apart, stay 1 meter plus apart.
Just staying alive.
Don't visit your mom. Don't you dare visit your family. If you visit your family that don't live in a single household, we will find you and we will 3-Star Podcast you. How about that?
Oh, you heard him. He didn't stutter. And I'll back every single word that he said. All right.
Right, guys. But no, everyone, enjoy yourselves. Stay safe, please. And we will see you next time.
Cheerio. And guys, you may have seen on our socials and all over the internet, the 5th of August. That's the 5th of August for our latest Unpacked. We're sure to bring a lot of exciting things your way, and I'm sure that you'll want to put a note in your diary for that date where you'll find out a hell of a lot more. See you there.